Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the GESC Thailand CIS Qualifier is coming at you. Our second of two best of threes now beginning. We got NaVi versus Vega Squadron here. This should be a good one. Game number one to kick it all off. Of course, I am Breaky CPK, joined by Tsunami. We are into the bands at least. Tsunami, we're coming off a fun, interesting, entertaining series there in the first one. This one, I could see it going either way. We were talking about it in the previous series, even as we're preparing for this one. I really could, and possibly even go in the distance here. Who knows?
I would like to believe that, but let's see how much of a stern talking to this NaVi squad got, because Vega Squadron has a history of beating NaVi. I believe so. So the downfall of the recent qualifier, I believe, was in the group stage. NaVi of the MDL Changsha qualifier major. NaVi got 2-0'd by Vega Squadron, and they went 1-2 against Slozny Mimas, and then they got 2-1'd, I think, by, or maybe that was enough. Yeah, so I think they had one other loss, I want to say. But whatever the case, they got knocked down, and then they lost to Slozny Mimas again, and then they got double eliminated by Megalada. And so Vega Squadron is definitely a tier above Open Qualifier. In fact, they are major qualified team. And technically NaVi are major invited team, but not major qualified.
Yeah.
And so I'm leaning more Vega Squadron, but I'm sure that NaVi have done some real soul searching in the past few days. And if there was ever a time to prove yourself, it's going to be now.
Starts with this, and yeah, it's a minor event, but still, the results are what you're looking for. And how about the start? Now, interesting thing with this, the Terrain Protector coming out from Vega, I got the chance to cast Vega versus, it was the CIS team that's
Fly to Moon?
Yeah, Fly to the Moon. I forgot their name for a second. Recently, and they played them a couple of times, and actually in both of those matchups, Terrain Protector was either picked first or banned priority in that series. So it's becoming a hero. You know, some teams, I guess Vega Squadron's one of them, that likes the Terrain Protector. Almost feels like out of nowhere here. So they prioritize it. Bane, Elder Titan response, but what of the Terrain? What do you think?
The way they play it is it's more creative than I've seen previous Terrain Protectors. So they usually give it to Zayas, and ideally, if he's having a good game, then that means he'll go to max out guys, and he'll basically just be very irritating. He'll always have a value Iron Branch on him, and then if he sees an opportunity to gank like the mid lane, he will plant the tree and then use it for extended time on the guys to get the root in odd positions. And overall, it's like a fairly aggressive Terrain Protector, so it's not like a sit back and living armor. Although, if he does get a good lead, then that means that he gets a lot of experience, and in concert with putting points in guys, he will also have a lot of points in living armor, and so Vega Squadron will usually be pretty good at keeping their tier 1 towers up, and I imagine that's also why they're going to ban out this Death Prophet. I imagine their second ban will also be some pushing hero, because it's immense value to only have to put minimal points in living armor and still that be effective enough to keep all your tier 1 towers up.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
So you like it, yeah, the band on the other side so far, but Terrain Protector Abaddon, that is not an opening you see too popular.
Yeah, no, it feels like a North American opening almost.
Yeah, I can see that. Visage, the 5th ban from NaVi. So now Vega Squadron thinking about maybe another heavy building hitter. What, something like a Dragonite then would come to mind? Or? Yeah, they ban Luna.
I'd be okay with that. I think, let's see, what do NaVi typically go for? They build a lot of Razor, but Razor usually doesn't go Aghanim Scepter. Luna is a crystallized special. So, oh, they banned it. Okay, well, there you go. And then I guess Beastmaster is a general special. So I wouldn't be surprised if NaVi want to go for that. I imagine it's going to be Lil on the Elder side and LeBron on the Bane. And then I would be okay with it. The thing with Beastmaster, though, is then you have to deal with his Abaddon pick. And he will just be able to either borrow time himself if he gets roared, or Aphotic Shield whoever gets roared. And unsurprisingly, NaVi are debating what is the best route to go. They could go for Lina as well. That was something that Navi has been kind of leaning towards recently for Dendi, but we'll see.
Yeah, Lena's been popping up. Again, I cast a bit of China Dota recently as well. I know she was fairly popular in a couple of teams over there, so we've seen the resurgence of Lena as a mid option. Also, potentially a Manta core, Dream Protector with that ulti of his, having a Manta style. We get out of it. On the lines of the Luna. Putting a lot of thought.
Yeah, Luna ban was choice. And man, Navi are burning through the reserves. I do not blame them.
Yeah. Oh, I see again.
It's a weird opening to go up against because you also don't know what kind of farm priority this Abaddon's going to be in. I mean, like, 99% of the chance is going to be like an offlane core type of role, but you never know. It could be like a 4-position Abaddon.
Down to 30 seconds now, so Navi not going to have the most time after the
team
fact, but they eventually go for the Leshrac. I'm going to snap pick Vega into the Vengeful. Well, they were confident.
Leshrac. Well, it's a hero that does not have to worry too much about living armor, seeing as how Edict basically burns through it. And Lesh did get some buffs in 7.12. The damage on Lightning Strike has been increased marginally. I mean, there was like a handful. Let me see.
Remaining.
Let me Leshrac. Really, it should show you the spells in this draft screen, but it doesn't. Okay, so the damage got rescaled. It does slightly more damage at level 1. The slow got nerfed. That was the other thing. So it doesn't slow as much, but it deals slightly more damage. And the cast point got ever so slightly reduced, which means that the animation takes less time.
Okay.
But I don't think Leshrac is a good hero.
With that said.
Yeah, with that said, and we'll see. Man, 2 seconds of reserve time, and they do go for the Beastmaster. I think they were basically forced into it. You need some pushing hero. It does suck that you have to pick a Beastmaster into a Abaddon and a Vengeful Spirit, which is a hero that we don't see very frequently. And so not only can your target who gets roared be swapped, but, I mean, be aphotic shielded, but they can also get swapped.
And they throw a Lifestealer 4th pick in now. Decent against the Leshrac, for example, and overall not too bad. Now, there are still several things. The Beastmaster Prime Aurora, the Bane ulti. Obviously not concerned about the Rage, so there's that to consider. But I also like what Vega's doing with the snap picking, because they've only used, they still have 2 minutes remaining, but because Navi's using so much time, they're forcing them to constantly react, pretty quickly right here. I think that's a conscious decision on their part, so... But Lifestealer...
A lot will be resting on Abaddon's shoulders this game, both to purge off the Fiend's grip and to get rid of the Roar off of Lifestealer. But if you can manage to do that, like, Razor was already first phase banned, so the cores that can deal with Lifestealer are running dry, because Lycan is banned, Razor's banned, Luna's banned, Deathroth is banned, and those are some of the best heroes to deal with a Lifestealer. Because these are heroes that don't really care about, not being able to hit a spell immune target. So what do they have for Crystallize now?
Remaining.
Morphling is available. Timbersaw.
You may now select your heroes.
Yeah, so we had mentioned in the previous series how Timbersaw also got a handful of buffs. Oh, it's Leshrac Crystallize. Interesting.
The Dendi Timbersaw.
But I'm pretty sure they're going to send Undershock mid.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe Leshrac. I mean, maybe Crystallize just isn't comfortable in playing Timbersaw, which may be a thing. Like, they may end up sending Crystallize mid regardless, but he may be less familiar with Timbersaw.
I know you mentioned Leshrac, recently, maybe not the best here overall, but I will say OG, watching them a couple of qualifier games themselves, say S4's actually been playing in mid a couple times, and he's definitely wrecked with that hero. So he does feel like one of those, if you get the good start, you get the earlier Bloodstone especially, and can, of course, get a bit out of control. And this lineup feels like that's what Navi's really relying on. With the Timbersaw final pick as well, like 2 heroes that are Bloodstone candidates and very possibly going to be seeing that. You want to make sure you get off to that good start and get rolling, which will get out of hand, but if you don't, then things can get in favor of the other side for Vega Squadron. So
yeah. All right, let me I want to see how S4 has been building it, because That does intrigue me because my other thought was gonna be like, oh, is it
Prepare for
against
battle.
like a Phantom Lancer, which is the go-to? So, yeah, so he picked it at DAC, and it lost, but he was against Liquid, so really, could you blame him? And then he picked it at Dream League against Fnatic, and they also lost. So I don't know about that one. And then you were talking about the MDL qualifier, in which they did win multiple times. One game it was against a Phantom Lancer. And then the other 2 games it was not against the Phantom Lancer, but yeah, he does pretty much always go for Bloodstone into Eagles, so perhaps it has viability, we shall see.
Well, we're going to have to see again how Crystallize does it here, and he will be in the mid. So Dendi, of course, setting up to be in the safe lane for now. Nature's Tree and Protector, even. I was going to say Nature's Prophet, is Seek Tree, and that's just the hero we usually see recently, but no, Tree and Protector is down here with that Orb of Venom. Of course, the Nature's Guys leveled up. Looking for an opportunity and going to be annoying down here at the bottom lane with him and the Abaddon. That sounds like definitely an annoying combination of heroes.
Yeah, it is. And Elder Titan would typically be okay dealing with it, but Zayats has blocked out the small camp, and I imagine... Oh, no. No one gets it. No, never mind, Zayats gets it. And so, though, they blocked out the small camp, and I imagine that Tree and Protector every single minute is going to block out this hard camp. And that, all of a sudden, makes Elder Titan such a far more... vulnerable support, because he does not get the move speed and whatever else bonuses from the ET Spirit if he can't run them over the creep wave over and over again. 30 seconds roll by though, and they don't actually block it. Oh, I'm sorry. It happens in a minute.
I was going to say.
What am I thinking?
That's old school Dota right there. Come on now.
And they counter out the Sentry Ward that Lil placed.
So I'm just going to run at Lil right there. You do see Dendi, though, picking up that level 1 Whirling Death and using it to body out Vega as well. So a lot of back-and-forth poking going on. Let's see if anyone gets low enough for an eventual kill. What middle lane matchup?
Yeah, Zayat's standing in the corner to block the camp perfectly. Yeah.
Well played. So there's that minute. What was potentially going to be the spawn of creeps, but yeah, good heads up there from Treant. Puck versus Leshrac, though, in the middle lane. Puck right now 4-4, Leshrac 3-1. So far to start here. And it's going back to
I wouldn't imagine much happening. That's going to be a pretty static lane. The way that CIS plays these days, I feel, is they leave their mid laners alone. Both teams just kind of have like the agreement that's like, yeah, I mean, like, I'll rotate if your mid laner starts diving my mid laner, but I don't think I'm going to go for like smoke gank plays unless if I get like a great rune, like a haste or an invis or something.
Tree and Protector, he's already done with bottom lane. He's heading towards the middle, maybe going for a courier snipe. No courier just yet. Being used at this point. Leshrac still has a salve ready to go. As well, using the Lightning Storm right there. But yeah, Tree and Protector being very patient. We'll see how patient he ends up being.
DD rune bot, and Lil's gonna find that after claiming 1 bounty rune, and he may be able to go for a 2nd bounty rune, or he may go for a play on mid. He does have Echo Stomp. So if you can bait out a phase shift, then you could go for a play.
He's just going to open here and force out a phase shift. That works too, I guess.
Yeah, try to inadvertently set up for a split earth, but I don't think Crystallize was expecting the phase shift to come out, and it's not an easy spell to land. And yeah, Zayats is just waiting for the courier to come out. Crystallize is sending it out right now, but I think Zayat has lost interest.
I was going to say, it gets to a point where it's like too much waiting around. Like, is it really worth it? So he's not going to be able to get it. And good job by Crystallize just running back to it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows. Treant's been missing for a while. He hasn't been bottom lane. I'm sure that call's been coming out. So
right.
Good heads up. Similar to like a bounty hunter situation.
And unfortunately, Lil does not get the stack on this hard camp that he was going for. Or actually, maybe I think he was just going for a pull, but whatever the case, it's only 1 creep camp, so Lil only gets some damage out of it. But Dendi's doing fine in his bot lane. He's topping net worth, topping CS, and Blizzy is not really expected to win this matchup necessarily. He's a strength hero. Whirling Death does quite a bit of damage to him.
21-2 Timbersaw, 14-1 on the Abaddon. Port coming to the top lane. That's Treant, who is still level 1, by the way. So Treant's struggling a little bit to try to find what he's useful for early on in this game. Maybe it's the top lane, that'll be different, but the Radiant side is somewhat retreating already. Although he hits level 2 at least, so he will pick up that Leech Seed. See if that can come into play, but again, Beastmaster, he's got the creep wave pulled up, so he's not looking to push out. It's a pretty passive start so far at 4 minutes in. Probably pretty expected, though, with the matchup here.
Yeah. Really the only one that I could expect going off was the bot lane, but now Blizzy has taken out the entire... It's all about the hard creep camp with Elder Titan support, because, like, you see Lil is, like, kind of wondering what the hell to do. He has Windlace and Boots, and that's great if you're allowed to play aggressive. If you're playing defensive, it's a whole bunch of net worth doing nothing. And now he tries to find out where this small camp is being blocked, but he places the sentry on the south side, and Zayat places the block on the north side. So
that's going to get another block. It'll get the 5-minute block, and then after that it's going to despawn, but very efficient ward there.
Yeah.
From the Dire team. Coming into play, so allowing Blizzy to, as you mentioned, get at least great experience. Decent farm. He's going to take a stun right here. No borrowed time just yet, of course. Only level 5.
Yeah,
Bodic shield already.
Not easy to do. I mean, they're trying to do this before he hits level 6, which is understandable, but like this is not an easy gank.
No. Whirling Dutch just keeps taking off the shield, but with the headdress kicking in as well, he's plenty fine at this bottom lane. So yeah, no really big reason to be scared, as you mentioned. Just it's not really hurting Dendi though either.
Bottom tower is under attack.
So keeping
the only thing is that Blizzy is getting like plenty of experience out of it, and so he is going to hit level 6 fairly soon.
Elder Titan plus 84 damage. So actually,
yeah, he's been rooting it through the Dire jungle. So if you can't use his jungle, then he'll just use the enemy jungle.
Lifestealer, 28-3 up here. So actually managing very good despite it being a Bane Beastmaster. For the most part, middle lane might be there. First blood, crystallized, but Fairy Fire, not enough. Dream Coil, Initiation, Slayer was there as well. Coming in the flank, and they get the first blood in the end. So finally a kill happens nearly 6 minutes into the game. Goes the way of Vega Squadron.
Dire's courier has been killed.
And Dire courier goes down. How did that happen?
Not even sure. It might have been actually Elder Titan, I think, got it. Sitting to the bottom lane, perhaps, but going back.
Yeah, but Puck is doing an exceptional job in this mid lane. Has like 17 more CS and 10 more denies than Leshrac. So, and Leshrac is opting to max out that lightning strike, but it's just, I don't know, Leshrac is not a great hero, especially against Puck, who's like one of the strongest mid laners in like a 1v1 situation these days.
Vengeful. Oh! Echo Stomp. Doesn't really matter. Gets the kill. Onto him as they collapse his 3. Yeah, you mentioned the Lightning Storm level up. That's what I was seeing on pretty much every other core Leshrac I've been seeing recently, too. It's maxing that out first, especially now with the buffs as we're talking about.
Right.
To the ability. So yeah, the whole Diabolic Edict idea isn't necessarily a thing right now with a core Leshrac. Pushing objectives, but yeah, as you're also talking about, it's not the greatest start for him. So really relying on Dendi right now here in the Timbersaw to have high impact. He almost has a Soul Ring finished. But can you really expect a Timbersaw to start moving? I mean, he's probably just going to keep farming, though, right? For a while?
Yeah. Until he completes his Bloodstone, I imagine. If he wants to go aggressive, then maybe he'll go for something like a Yule's earlier. But I think it's in his best interest to get the Bloodstone, because General's doing a pretty good job in the offlane himself also. And so, if you want someone to go aggressive, that's to use Samus. Now Slayer initiating on the bot lane, dodge the Echo Stomp.
Yeah, well played there initially, but not going to be a turn kill on a Crystallize as Slayer just trying to make sure he gets out of here now. Magic Missile in 2. Not needed. He's good to go. Just simply runs away.
Top lane. They have Roar. And Palatine was blue infest.
Well,
he's turning it.
Kinda. Yeah, it's like he doesn't want to overcommit though, because like you said, they have Roar. He knows that.
As soon as he gets out of like his tower AoE, then
middle.
He's like,
Leshrac is probably dead right here. Can he maybe set up a turn kill? TPs are coming in. Ooh, Undershot got low. They do get the turn kill on Slayer with the Primal Roar. There is a regen rune though. Bottle up. No. Out comes the Brain Sap. He did bottle it in time, but
I don't think he knew that he had a bottle. I mean, I'm sure he knew he had a bottle.
He probably
I think he was expecting it to activate immediately, because he had a Fairy Fire also. And I think with Fairy Fire and, I don't know, well, whatever the case, he goes down. But it forces out a rotation, and General has to Roar the Vengeful.
To be fair, I don't know if we expected that burst damage of the Brain Sap from the distance. Maybe the biggest thing. So That just caught him, though, in range, being pure damage, of course, so good catch there, at least for the turn. Slowing down Puck a little bit. What is Puck going with that farm, by the way? It looks like he's trying to prioritize right into a blink.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see the Veil stop off in between, which is actually a little bit surprising, as Dendi does manage to kill Zayat, who was trying to draw away aggro from this bot tier 1, but was unsuccessful.
Yeah, let's watch in the middle lane.
Seeing as how Lifestealer did not get the best start, I would have expected Puck to maybe save the blink until later, as now mid lane, Elder Titan does go down to the Illusory Orb and Dreamcoil combination. But yeah, he's going for the blink straight up, which is a little bit weird because Lifestealer's not ready to fight. In fact, Lifestealer's going for Radiance, not Armlet. And Armlet is usually the first item, let's fight, I got a blink dagger, let's go kind of thing.
Good point, yeah.
Radiant's middle tower
Abaddon also, well, he's going to Helm of the Dominator, not really also, but that's going to be his item choice. Trying to have that finish back to the middle lane. As Lil's back in, and once again, it's a similar situation with Vengeful Spirit in the area. He's going to avoid the Echo Stomps. We'll be fine for now. Top lane, LeBron Dota wrapping around. Doesn't have Fiend's Grip yet. Does have a Nightmare setup, though. They do have a Primal Roar. They do not know Vincere, but he's only level 3. He's going to open on LeBron Dota. Leech Seed comes out. You see the heal on Palantimos. Out comes a Primal Roar, but too much damage on Bane, and now General really was just a defensive roar from the beginning. Not able to make a play with it. Puck was coming in, but no Drain Coil, couldn't really reach.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Leshrac. He's going double damage room, picked up by Slayer, though. He's actually going to do some damage here to Leshrac. Not killing him, but again, saying hello and going to force out the maybe a Shrine use here.
Like, Blizzy has basically stolen the Radiant Creep Wave because he wants Living Armor to work for as long as possible, and then Dendi is doing the exact same thing by just cutting the Creep Wave. But Living Armor's kicking in, ever so slightly.
True. That's right, we have a train in the game.
Yeah, although it looks like this may be the push that ends it, as no one is defending this tier 1 tower bot, despite all this effort being dedicated towards it. I mean, he's still cutting the creep wave, and so technically, you know, it's just one C creep. Oh, and he dominates the C creep.
Nice. Yeah, that's a smart play there.
The push is preserved.
Where is that armor?
Top lane, Rage.
Oh, fighting top lane. Yeah, Fiend's Grip locking him down. As you mentioned, Rage is up. The Wild Axe is going through. Auto attacks. The Brain Sap is not enough.
The Necro Creep.
Necro Creep will actually run him down here, right? Level 1 Necronomicon finished, helping to get the kill on a Lifestealer. And now they might just want more still. LeBron has a stick use for a Brain Sap, but no opportunity just yet. Bottom tier 1 tower, just about dead now. As back to the top, Zayak was found actually. Got the Axis cut him down. And Dendi's going to get this bottom tower in the end. So yeah, Vega Squadron, I mean, obviously there's a lot going on top lane too, so distracted, but they really don't do a whole lot to really prevent Dendi from pushing the bottom tower.
Yeah, and now only Puck TPs to the top lane. Like, there was so much chaos going on in the top lane forever, and Undershock, I guess, was just really interested in finishing off his Blink Dagger, but now the snap comes out, LeBron just snaps it, Palantimos going to get in range, and that's too much damage. But they still, I mean, like, they give up quite a bit. Maybe Undershock was expecting Leshrac to have points in Edict, and so he was like, if I live my mid lane, then the mid lane's going to die. But Crystallize only has 1 point in Edict, as we see him now trying to burn down the mid tier 1, which still does a fair amount of damage, you know, regardless.
You see right there, it's not going to be enough for the kill, but going to rotate over, pick up that Haste Rune as Timbersaw makes his way over, and, well, that Bloodstone, it's coming along, and obviously you can even split up the Arcane Boots, so this is going to be a very early Bloodstone on Dendi. Not that it's surprising, considering the free farm that he's had, but what does Vega Squadron do about that? Because this is Timbersaw, goes without saying, especially with this early of a Bloodstone. He's hard to handle this early on.
Yeah, and again, like, Undershock is still prioritizing this first item Blink, and like a Veil would be very effective against a Timbersaw who is known for physical damage mitigation, so Lifestealer's not going to be able to do very much against the Timbersaw, so it's mainly up to Puck and Abaddon and I guess Vengeful Spirit. They're burning down this mid tier 1. Dreamcoil's down for another 10 seconds, and I don't think Vega are going to send anyone.
No, I mean, he can literally just stand here tanking the tower.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, because they don't have enough magic damage to prevent it, and obviously he's aware of that.
Yeah,
top lane, by the way. Beastmaster in trouble. Ultimate's going to be activated by Zayak. Want this kill, but the Echo Stamper response from Lil. On top of the Earth Splitter, hits Lifestealer, they kill Treant, they're gonna kill the Lifestealer as well. The Fiend's Grip used by Bane to lock him down, and they get the middle tower during that. NaVi is looking on point now.
Yeah, there's always finding fights with like the minimal resources necessary. Like only 3 heroes top was all you needed to kill the Treant Protector and the Lifestealer, and in the mid lane all you needed was the Timbersaw and the Leshrac to finish off that mid tier 1. They ended up giving up the bot tier 1. Abaddon took that uncontested, but still, you're more than happy if you're NaVi.
Leshrac, Yules is going to be in the works, so it's not going to be an early Bloodstone for him by any means, but Yules definitely makes sense. And again, he's not as efficient farm as the Timbersaw, but they need to worry about him staying alive down here. Bane will port in. Vengeful Spirit's going to open on a Bane, but really far in. Under shock, he has a Drain Coil. Does he commit it for this kill? So far, no. Illusory Orb. Now he has a Drain Coil for Crystallize, though. Here comes Timbersaw. Chakran's put down the Dive. Getting the Pulse Nova. Getting some good damage out. It does fall, though, on Crystallize. Dendi wants something out of this. Nice Magic Missile stun. Stops the Timber Chain. They kill Vengeful, though. Under shock is a little too committed. He's going to Orb away. There's a Jaunt.
He can blink.
And the Blink. He's good. Well, 2 for 1. That actually worked out pretty well for Vega Squadron. So I was worried for their sake as far as the return, but they get out.
Yeah, Timbersaw just gets 1 Bloodstone charge out of the Vengeful Spirit, so that's also important. And now we'll see, like, so Palantimo still needs time, and he's still going for this Radiance, which, I mean, it's more effective against a Timbersaw than an Armlet is, obviously, because it's magic damage, but it also takes much longer to get online. And so, like, he hasn't even completed the Relic yet. He's a long ways away. He's 1,000 gold away from the Relic. It's now a fight breaking out near the Roche pit.
Swap. He has a swap. We'll see if we can make a clever play here on Puck and maybe have him get out. That would be risky. Oh, that's a Fiend's Grip commitment as well. Okay, here comes Zayak, though. Ultimate use of the Overgrowth. On top of the Illusory Orb, Nightmare activated on Crystallize, mitigating some damage, but the Dream Coil does hit both. And the Pulse Nova dealing some good return damage again on top of the Earth Splitter. Abaddon pops his borrowed time. Puck managed to live with the phase shift, though. They take out Leshrac. General throwing out some wild axes. Getting here fairly late. Timbersaw was not here. You gotta imagine different story. And as I say that, Dendi shows up. He's like, remember me once again. Timber Chain forward. They'll finish off Blizzy. And that's gonna be the end of it. Another charge of the Bloodstone.
Obviously wanted to participate, and he does help out somewhat with an open wounds, but he's just not in a position to fight. Like, all he has, quite literally, is Power Treads and a Blightstone, so not very much to contribute in a teamfight situation. Now General is actually a little bit over-committed here. Dream Coil's not going to be up for a while. And yeah, he's going to TP out.
I'm watching Lifestealer top lane. Nightmare actually sets up on him. Rolling Dash Chakram, but yeah, he'll just rage TP. So both cases, the TP is successful. Oh yeah, speaking of General though, I meant to bring this up. So he went level 1 Necro, then he goes Solar Crest, and now he's going Shadow Blade. So he's not even maxing out the Necronomicon.
Huh. That is interesting. I guess maybe Crystallize hasn't gotten the start that General was hoping for, and so rather than going for a push build, which Necronomicon encourages, and Solar Crest encourages. Oh wait, no, now he's swapping it back again. Back to the what? Oh, he's going off of it. Okay, I'm not going to say anything until he commits to one item or the other. I mean, to be fair, they have minimal initiation right now. Because Lil can't do it, because he's an Elder Titan, so you can reliably initiate. Dendi hasn't gone for a Blink Dagger, he's gone for the Bloodstone. And Bane is a long ways away from any sort of initiating item. And so, Solar Crest is like a good way to be in the middle, because it's also an attack speed item, so you can push, but it's also an initiating item.
Still has level 1 Necronomicon to use as they're pushing tier 2 tower. Overgrowth. Dream Protector going to at least apply the armor for now. This does have the Overgrowth. It actually doesn't have mana for it now, unfortunately. He set him up in a flank position as if he would be good to use it, but wouldn't be able to for the time being. Echo Stomp in the back line, so they should be able to kill the tier 2. God, it's taking forever, though. That armor of Dream Protector is really annoying. It eventually happens, however. Good job sticking around by NaVi, knowing eventually they'll get it. And Vega doesn't really do much with that time, other than, well, I guess Lifestealer was farming elsewhere, so they are buying time for the Radiance, which is actually almost finished now, as he has a Sacred Relic.
give up quite a bit, though. They only have 2 outer towers remaining, whereas NaVi have 4 outer towers remaining. And the push on Vega Squadron isn't great. None of these heroes are really great at pushing, especially if you don't go for, like... actually, I guess Palantinos has, like, a Blightstone, but, again, that's not really very much compared to, like, a Desolator or something. I guess Curse of Avernus is the other advantage that they have on Blizzy.
Okay, there's level 2 Necronomicon now just delivered to Beastmaster. So maybe he is just going to finish it in full now and then go the Shadow Blade.
Yeah, I suppose. Or... Oh, I think... so I know what he's doing. It's because Necronomicon recipe costs 1,300 gold, whereas on Shadow Blade the 2 components are cheaper. And so if you die and you want to spend your unreliable gold... Well, actually, wait. 13... Oh, it's the same price. Okay, I don't know. I can't justify it. I don't know why he keeps going back and forth.
To be fair, you don't need it in your quick buy to actually get it next either, so overlooking it for that
I think it's like
perspective
whenever you're
too.
like about to die. Oh, yeah. He's not committed to it.
Yeah.
No, big sleep on Bot Rune.
Watching Abaddon taking some damage in the middle lane. They tried to pop his borrowed time, but... Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
The Wild Axes. Just about to say the Wild Axes could do it, and sure enough. Do come out. Puck in the backline. That's a Life Stealer and Fest Spawn. Jumping on Elder Titan. In comes the Vincere, though. On Life Stealer. Primal Roar in response as well. Out with a Centaur Stomp, though, from Abaddon with the Helm of the Dominator. Swap in from Vengeful Spirit. Keeps his teammate alive, but he'll die as he's put in the bad spot. So an eye for an eye right there. Support for support. Puck wants more, though. And he takes out a core in Crystallize. Going back in. And now NaVi down 3 versus 4. May have to retreat.
Still kind of looking for more, but the rest of his team isn't there.
Puck showing off that dig on he just got, by the way. How about that choice?
Well, it's more magic damage, not the traditional Veil build, which is still, like, I don't really know why Undershock isn't going for Veil this game. I think it's, like, you can clear through Beastmaster creeps more effectively. You have plenty of magic damage on your team between Aphotic Shield, Radiance Burn, and obviously Puck's spells by Undershock's self. But, yeah, going for the Dagon, which is nice. You will be able to instantly blow up the Leshrac, who does not have very much HP, 980 HP. Leshrac does not have the best strength gains, and he's going for a BKB on Crystallize, which I don't blame him for. And now flank, Infest Bomb, set up, Slayers, smoke pops, but it's nighttime, so they don't see it.
There we go.
We'll now see it.
Dendi, the target, the Waning Rift, not the greatest, actually. He's reaching for Lil right here. Will even get it in the end. I mean, open wounds, it looks like maybe. Back over here, though, Vengeful Spirit. Lotus Orb applied to Leshrac, by the way. Magic Missile Reflect. The Living Armor will save Slayer for the time being. The Drinkle hitting multiple heroes. Slayers on the run. You got Leshrac throwing up on the Yules, but he goes down as soon as he comes down. Double kill for Palantinos. The swap in on Dendi does catch him. Going the other direction. Magic Missile eventually connecting the nice top of the Lotus Orb, though. Will reflect once again.
Oh, they're leaving it.
He's good. In the back lines, Fiend's Grip being used to take out Dream Protector, but Bane, kind of space created, though. It's a distraction. Keeps Dendi alive. Going the other direction. But
yeah,
numbers good for
Dendi
Vega.
does profit somewhat out of that. I mean, not so much profit, but he didn't lose any Bloodstone charges because he doesn't die. Although I don't think he got any Bloodstone charges either, because Dream Protector was the only hero on Vega Squadron to die, and
Out of range.
Timbersaw was way too far away. But yeah, so, I mean, great work by Vega Squadron. The Waning Rift was sloppy initially, and so Lifestealer just had to pop out. And, like, I understand why they go for Lil right off the bat, because an Echo Stomp into an Earth Splitter, like, that can totally disrupt everything. And so, you know, Timbersaw is, you know what Timbersaw is capable of. And while it's great to get a silence off of him, you want to make sure that the rest of the team fight is under control. So they initiate on Lil, they finish him off. Dendi is obviously trying to do damage the whole time. Beastmaster roars up, I believe it was the Vengeful Spirit, and then immediately gets Aphotic Shield purged off by Blizzy. And then after that, once you can't get the initiation, then NaVi are just scrambling for whatever they can find.
Looking at General here again, he's actually sitting on 2,300 gold, so maybe he is going to now just go for that that Shadow Blade, really kind of reacting to the moment, but still has a level 2 Necronomicon. Abaddon. His Vlad's is actually coming. So nice aura for the team to take advantage of, and Meteor Hammer on Treant Protector is almost finished as well.
Zayat's go-to.
Lifestealer inside Puck once again, looking for another chance. It's worked a couple of times so far, maybe a third as middle lane General is a little too far though. Just throwing out the Wild Axes and running. try to bait out with Slayer.
Yeah, I think Vega Squadron are hoping to get a pick and then turn that into a Roche attempt. Which they can Roche fairly well. They've got Curse of Avernus, they've got a Solar Crust on Abaddon, and they've got Vengeful Spirits, Vengeance Aura as well, so it's pretty easy to do it quickly, but the thing is NaVi can also do it quickly with Beastmaster, who has still not committed. Oh, he's flying something out. Oh, it's a Shadow Blade. Okay.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They smoke up, though, on Vega Squadron side, and they're going to go into the Roshan pit. Now, it was not seen, but NaVi probably has a pretty good idea. In fact, Lil will confirm it. This is a very fast Roshan, though. Yeah. Sleep. Fly to Vengeful. He does have a swap out, maybe. Zayak is also waiting for his Overgrowth. Earth Splitter already used on top of Roshan. They want to commit for the kill. There's that Overgrowth. Palantimos will pick up the Aegis, and now he's ready to fight. Blizzy in the midst of it. Borrowed time was actually used right there, but Crystallize explodes. Dendy's now in the big fight right here himself in the midst of it. Lotusaur was not going to save him, though. He puts down the Chakram as he goes down. He's going to resurrect very quickly with the Bloodstone, of course, but teammates losing around him. Bane also gets picked off in a very successful Roshan fight for Vega Squadron. So they keep the Aegis.
Yeah, and they get the kill. Like, the Chakram was in there the entire time, and even despite that, the kill still goes the way of Lifestealer, and yeah, they still have the Aegis, and I don't see any reason why Vega Squadron should let off the gas. Like, they're all pretty low on mana, but you go regen, and then you claim all these other outer towers. Like I said, there were 4 outer towers remaining for NaVi, and Vega Squadron have not been pushing, but now they've got nothing better to do than to push, hopefully. Hopefully they're not like Spirit, but...
Oh, God. Well, Lifestealer S and Y. Yeah, almost finished on him now. With that medallion
and this
is
not a great sales pitch for Leshrac Core. I'm not convinced by this game at all.
Yeah, no, this game is definitely not one of the more overwhelming performances, to say the least. And I think the middle matchup, though, I think had a lot to do with that, though, to be fair. Yeah, Puck is not the friendliest matchup for Leshrac. And we saw here in this game, Undershock did fantastic. We see a couple of roams early on, and Crystallize has been playing from behind this whole game. And he's still not even recovering the best either, so I can't expect much out of him. And it also goes back to NaVi and their lineup, where we're talking about with the draft as a finish, that they needed to snowball early. And they kind of were, especially Dendy. But as a team, they weren't necessarily. The Radiance finally came online. And Vega Squadron, it feels like they've stalled enough to now be in somewhat control of the game moving forward.
Yeah. See if General can get a pick. He's got this Shadow Blade initiation, and then actually it turns around on Crystallize.
Yeah, watching him. He gets swapped, snapped
swap.
as a result.
Beautiful.
Very good synergy. That's a good idea.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And I don't even think that they're aware that they just dodged the potential 4-man rotation from NaVi in the meanwhile. Although Train Protector is identified here. They don't have detection for him, though.
No. Nothing off.
Undershock dies, actually, to...
Beastmaster.
And immediately Puck builds a Linken's.
He just finished it. Yeah, he was building it the whole time. But yeah, he just finished it now. That's unfortunate timing. But again, watching the top action, would not have expected that. I mean, you pointed that out because they killed Leshrac, and they didn't realize how many heroes were nearby. Obviously, it eventually bit them in the ass, though. This Puck goes down. It's a 5-kill streak stopper, I believe it was on him, too. Yeah. 1,000+ gold going the way of General. Holy crap.
Yeah.
For that kill. That's significant.
Although I'm sure he would have preferred Crystallize to get that kind of gold.
Of course. Beggars can't be choosers, though. Treant Protector. He's setting up flank up here, but doesn't really have any support, so may just push the tower with the Meteor Hammer. Or backdoor subs, I don't know.
Yeah.
What the game plan is.
Well, he scouts out 2 heroes TPing. He scouts out Dendy. Oh, they're looking for him. Dustus pops.
It hits. They see him. There we go.
5-hero rotation. 4-hero rotation.
But it worked. Crystallize still trying to finish that BKB himself. So Vega Squadron, though, again, they've had the Aegis now for a little bit. Gets to a point where, as you're talking about earlier, is, all right, now what are you going to do with that Aegis?
The main thing I was okay with is waiting for Undershock's Linken's, but Linken's is completed, and it does look like Vega are converging on the bot tower, and that's perfect. There's no top tier 2 anymore for NaVi, and so, they want to defend it. Lifestealer is okay.
Dendy.
Yeah, they want to go.
Overcommit. Yules. Elder Titans TPing in. Dendi does get the Timber Chain off. He'll be good for now. Heals up a Lifestealer, so they wanted to defend it. Might not be defended in the end, though. Doesn't look like it. At least nobody dies.
Undershock was a little too far away. Otherwise, if Undershock was there, then pretty sure Timbersaw was screwed.
Smoke play. Smoked up, running towards middle. Got Tran pushing out the middle lane with that Meteor Hammer. Gonna go for tier 2 tower.
They can find Crystallize. That would be great.
Is he farming here? He is. I don't see him though.
Middle tower is under
attack.
Yeah, they're trying to bait around this ward. They know that this ward exists, but they're not killing it yet because they want Crystallize to feel safe.
Oh.
Instead, they find General.
Yeah, gonna find General. Shadow Blade use though. Lifestealer inside. They go for the Drain Coil, which misses. And now the Aegis.
It's surprising that they
responds.
go for it. They
Meanwhile,
didn't even have detection even. Oh.
The Infest Bomb still hits somebody. Hits Bane actually. They also catch up to Dendi. Lotus Orb trying to save him. Earth Splitter. On top of him, though, the swap. Oh, that was awkward. That was really funky. With the Timber Chain. He gets away. I don't know if that was even supposed to happen like that, but it worked.
In the meanwhile, Crystallize was attempting to split push, but that's not going to work against a Train Protector. And the Lifestealer leaves, so that gives Navi an opening now.
Yeah, they realize that. They're like, all right, thank you very much. They're going to find Slayer at least, but in comes the Overgrowth from Train Protector. Undershock's caught, though, and Undershock will go down on Puck. They also kill the Vengeful Spirit. Now Blizzy, he's just running around in circles with that Borrowed Time and Aphotic Shield. Live as long as possible. Live for time for Lifestealer to come back, and he's bought the time. Back. You look at Navi spam pinging him as he's back into the fight, and that's the retreat moment. Good response from Navi.
Yeah, of all the heroes, it was probably in Vega's least interest to send the Lifestealer. Ideally, you want to send... I would think the Abaddon is probably the go-to. I don't think Vengeful Spirit can stop the Leshrac by herself, but Abaddon would be able to. And while you do lose access to Aphotic Shield, I think between Puck and Lifestealer, you have enough damage if Navi want to turn, but instead they send Lifestealer and lose the Puck and the Vengeful Spirit in the end, but nothing more than that. And Aegis is timed out now.
Yeah, that was timed out going into the fight initially. So, another Roshan to come, at least a minute 20 before he can respawn. Timbersaw, though, he's already hit level 20, so has his 15 strength talent now. Go along back to 14 Bloodstone charges, by the way, so he's back where he started. At least. Better than being less, of course. Scythe is looking like it's his next item of choice. Wanting more lockdown to work with. Which they have plenty of already, but why not get more?
I think part of it may be for the Abaddon, so that he can't aphotic shield people. So you roar one person, and then you sheep up the Abaddon to make sure that he can't do anything to save that ward target.
AC is almost finished up on Abaddon. By the way, you got Ags on Puck is being the works at least. 1,200 gold saved up for him. So it's going to be a little bit before that Ags comes out. Ooh, General pops his Shadow Blade. Sees him running in.
Oh, Slayer's Invis Rune. I was like, dude, how is the smoke not popped on Slayer? But no, yeah, it's an Invis Rune. And General's Invis is about to time out.
Yeah. They have a sentry here, though.
Yeah.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh, thanks for the shrine notification, Breaky CPK.
Did I? Oh, just letting you guys know. 100% life, yo. So yeah, they're not going to find anybody. Wait, Beastmaster's still with the level 2 Necronomic. I guess she just knows something we don't, apparently. Just that good.
Radiant's middle tower is under
he's
attack.
going for a sheepstick of his own as well.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I think that's a better option than Necro 3. Again, everything to mitigate the Abaddon from being able to save targets. And Roche is going to be mid-time Roche, not late, not early, about average.
You know what is kind of funny about him not getting level 3 is that he doesn't have True Sight yet.
Yeah,
so.
But is there anyone invisible that you're really concerned about?
Oh, there's Treant, but
I mean,
guess...
it's great for, yeah, I guess Treant, but in push situations, you're probably going to have sentry wards placed anyway.
Yeah.
And Train Protector is usually going to be like trying to go for gank attempts where you usually wouldn't cast a Necro 3, but yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from.
Bottom lane, Undershock gets back quickly. He has a gem on him. As mentioned, he's actually changed his mind. Instead of going the Axe, he's going to go bots for now. Figures that mobility is important.
Well, Leshrac did complete his BKB. I mean, Crystallize has just been quietly farming this entire time, and he's still really far behind, don't get me wrong, but every little bit matters for a Leshrac, and so he's completed his 10-second BKB. And, I mean, technically that swap combination would still work. Swap goes through BKB, and Dream Coil Aghanims would go through BKB, but yeah, he's going to leave it on the table for now.
How about Elder Titan in his build? A Helm of the Dominator and a Heaven's Halberd now finished.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, wow. I'm surprised Lil was able to farm that up. They show Slayer, they find Lil, Dust is popped, he uses Earth Flare and his TP's out.
Yeah, so he's going to survive, but they don't care about him. They want to go for Beastmaster, and they're going to catch up to him, so well played. Definitely get the higher priority target there.
Yeah, and they end the streak. Puck gets quite a bit of gold out of that one.
What the hell's that animation? Oh, that's a Leech Seed? Just see these green balls flying towards the people. What is going on? Is Necro in the game all of a sudden?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Whatever happened to that hero?
Yeah, it doesn't exist right now.
He got buffed in 7.12. He deserves something. Man, that's a value pick. They get it right before Roche respawns. Lil does confirm that it's up. But they really don't want to have to buy back Beastmaster. But this Roche is fast, as mentioned previously.
Like with Lifestealer's item build, he has a second Sacred Relic now because it's going to Nullfire. That's a lot of right-click damage.
That is a lot of right-click, you're right.
So
and they get it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That was Cheese, right? Oh, guys, Cheese, please. Somebody.
Blizzard. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Either Blizzard or Puck.
Top lane.
They have a Cliff Ward here.
Yep.
Oh, nice swap.
Connect. So now they know they have a Tinker
Now
Horde,
the chase
but
begins.
can they actually kill him? Crystallize, like, well, fine, I'll take you with me. Pulse Nova, Diabolic Edict, use it all. He actually didn't activate his Diabolic Edict here. Gets it off late, but it doesn't matter. So nice catch, though, from
Cliff
Slayer.
Ward. That's a weird Cliff Ward, because, I mean, I guess maybe it was more intended for Beastmaster, but it works out, gets them a kill.
Yeah. Treant pushing out bottom lane meanwhile, but Lifestealer again, the Nullfire now finished. He's inside Puck currently. And Puck is going back to the Axe now, so of course he has the bots finished. Is going to go back to the Axe, and actually already has the point booster with 1,500 gold saved up, so he is just about there, actually.
I guess one of the appeals of boosted travel is Abaddon's gone for this Dominator, so he's basically always got the Dominator near him, and you can get into a fight very easily if you just BOT onto the dominated creep.
True. General, courier pick. Oh, the bot's recipe. Look at the green. Yep.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Bot's recipe taken away from Abaddon.
Nice.
Good play from General.
Invisibility.
Now under shock though, is heading towards the top lane, meeting up with the rest of the team, or more so I guess or Abaddon up there for now. A supporting cast is coming too though. Train and Vengeful.
I think it's in Navi's interest to defend, I think. I mean, they do have an Aegis that they have to deal with, but I don't know, this is a pretty big power spike. Dendi has the Sheepstick completed, and yeah, it looks like they are going to turn around, but not as a unit. And so General goes down.
Yeah, that was him just getting caught right there, and I'm loving that swap snap combo. Working pretty well. Borrow time offensively, he's going in. Wanted to kill Crystallize right there. Dendi, open wounds up on him. He's taking some good damage. That right click gets so much damage with the Nullfire. Is it enough in the end? It doesn't look like just yet. Dendi, he'll survive. Don't go too deep though. Overgrowth activated. Does catch Bane. Bane dies. Buyback on Beastmaster and Bane. Tier 3 tower still plenty alive. Is dropping here, but now response chance for NaVi. Vega Squadron, they get the tier 3 though. They back off for now, but they might not be full fallback here. They could still go back in themselves. Reinitiate.
Yeah, they can. Borrow time's up in 5 seconds. Swap is back up again. You have another Infest bomb set up. I would wait for the Dream Coil, though. Dream Coil is up in 5 seconds.
Oh, there's a swap used. They swap in. Dendi's going to melt. That Nightmare at the last second to save him. It's not going to be enough, though. He goes down in the end. He does have a buyback. Not using it yet. Crystallize.
Puck has Dream Coil.
Heals in the air. There's that Dream Coil as mentioned. Catching a couple. Lil sitting at a distance. Not much more he can do other than look for the time being. Astral Spirit in 2 more seconds. Dendi back into the fight with that buyback. On top of Palatinos, but Dendi dropping again with that Lotus Orb. He has to fall back. Primal Roar used on Abaddon. Abaddon finally goes down. No borrow time to save him right there. The Hex up on Lifestealer. He's dead. Aegis use. You see that Vengeful Spirit
Rage when he's up.
Kicking in. Rage is popped as it comes back up. General, the Nullfire applied. Nice Lotus Orb. to remove it, and now Palantimos has to run. Dendy, he's at half-life. A little risky, it feels like, to be that far up.
Just leave.
But the Dire team is going to fall back in full. Arcane or... Not going to get it.
They get a hell of a lot done. They get a buyback out of Dendy, or they get a buyback out of the Timbersaw, the Bane, and the Beastmaster. And obviously they cut down Timbersaw's Bloodstone charges, and they still managed to take the tier 3 as well. No Rax damage done quite yet, as now Zayats is... Oh man, this is ballsy. Oh, he has a Blink Dagger. Nice.
He does, but is that even enough to get away still? It's probably. Yeah, he's good.
Bane did just buy a gem, so LeBron is having no more of that. I guess he's probably going to give it to General. But yeah, pretty solid fight. Aegis was claimed, though. But again, you got a lot of buybacks out of NaVi.
Okay, a couple of updates here. Puck does have the axe finish, which of course is great. Look at, we mentioned Elder Titan earlier, and I don't know if I'm just out of the meta lately on Lil's Elder Titan, but he has a basher now?
Okay, no, that is definitely not typical.
Okay.
I have no idea why that's the case.
He's going Abyssal
I mean,
Blade.
you stun the Lifestealer through Rage, which is nice, I suppose.
Yeah.
But, like, there's no channels that you need to break, which is usually the main reason why I see, like, Initiation and the Nullifier. The Lotus comes a little late.
The Drain Coil was late, too. That could have secured it. Palantimos. Fiend's Grip not going to work. Coming out now.
Bash him. Bash that
Centaur trying to stun him in the back lines. Yeah, Slayer, no, he swaps in his teammate who just got Primal. That was Zayak right there. Keeps him alive. Bane goes down. Down goes Elder Titan. The rest of NaVi once again in runaway mode. Crystallize was pushing middle during that. Wasn't there
Classic
for NaVi.
Crystallize.
Dire's middle tower is under
I mean,
attack.
normally that works, but again, you're against a Treant Protector, so split pushing is not particularly effective. Especially if you're not like a Lycan or Luna or something.
Yeah. I gotta say, Dendy's a little lucky there, honestly. If that Drain Coil hits him, he's dead for sure.
Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
with the Ags.
This cat and mouse game between Nullifiers and Lotus Orbs are like so delicate. There's now Slayer getting initiated on by Crystallize, but I don't know if this was in his best interest.
I don't think it
Puck
is.
BOTing in.
Just about to say, that BKB's not going to save him either.
Oh my god, that
He
damage.
just dies through it so quickly. Wave of Terror, plenty of right click.
Yeah, he has 9 armor. Oh, Sentry Ward placed by Zayas. They see Dendy pick up that Indus Rune.
Remember, this would be a tieback. Oh, Timber Chain didn't connect. Lotus Orb already used. Here comes a Wave of Terror. Drain Coil is going to be used as well. Does he take the snap? Swap, snap. No, he's not going to swap it, actually. They're just going in. 75 seconds, no buyback.
The Dream Coil lasts for
Ever.
8 seconds. And so, yeah, you get a long window before you need to actually snap it.
True.
And they've loaded up another Lifestealer Bomb. Quick smoke. This is some of the fastest play that I've seen from Vega, and it's working out very well.
They're using their cooldowns. Yeah, they're shorter ultimate cooldowns very effectively.
Right.
Is Vega.
And it's not like they're like tied to any BKBs or anything like that, because really all their items, the only thing is Nullifier. That's their highest cooldown item. Swap, Crystallize immediate BKB.
Yeah, pops BKB, but again with a saving Bane just decimated in the back line. Down goes Crystallize. And there's no buybacks on 3 heroes dead. It's just Beastmaster and Elder Titan versus the world. At this point, Tier 3 is going to fall. That should at least be 1 Rax. Remember, the top Tier 3 is also dead already, so this is possibly 2 sets of Rax.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
They're going to let Zayat push top.
Has fallen.
And...
Probably got to join him.
Oh, never mind. They're joining him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, he's just a Treant. Yes, Meter Gamer's nice, but there you go.
Radiant's top barracks are under
Baden's
attack.
starting work on bot, and I don't think you need to leave.
Radiant's top
I think you're perfectly okay sticking around if you're a Vega Squadron.
Radiant's bottom barracks
Drain Coil's
are under
ready.
attack.
Swap is just coming off cooldown there. In fact, there you go. Elder Titan's like, wait a second, I didn't want to be here. He's dead.
Yeah, he was canceling out the Echo Stomp animation. Was not waiting for that, and NN is called.
I'm guessing that's GG. And there we go. It is official. GG, well played. Vega Squadron. They really started turning it on later game, and again, using their cooldown so efficiently. And you could just tell, NaVi, they ran out of steam early on. Crystallize never came online on the left rack. And a victory for Vega Squadron. Well played.
Time and time again, Navi's recipe for victory has been enabling Crystallize. Crystallize is so good at being able to carry a game from behind, but you need to give him a hero that's capable of it, and Leshrac is not that hero. I don't think it was their plan to give him Lesh early on. Like, you saw how much time they were spending through the reserve time during the draft, and I think it was some choice bans by Vega Squadron that kind of railroaded NaVi into giving Crystallize a hero that he did not want to play. Like, he had to go mid, probably didn't want to go mid. He had to play Leshrac, probably didn't want to play Leshrac, and it was just kind of destined from failure from the draft.
So Vega Squadron.
But shout out to the Basher Elder Titan. I don't know what the plan was there, but it was fun to see.
Need some right click. I mean, he was trying to go the Abyssal Blade eventually, which Abyssal Blade's okay, but yeah, it was definitely a reach as well. And obviously they were playing from behind though, ultimately outside of Timbersaw for quite a bit. So in the end, Vega Squadron victorious, deservingly so. 1-0 lead for them. It is a best of 3 though, guys. So stay tuned. The GESC Thailand CIS Qualifiers. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Tsunami. Game 2 coming up next.